going to unmute here. We're going to start this a little early because I started a little late, so we're going to get right on time here. Thank you guys so much. OPVs has got you guys on your list. We're going to get this started here, and let me get the show on the road. We have some really amazing stuff going on tonight, and let me tell you guys, it's another one of the there's a reason why YouTube is banning, blocking, and trying to shut this thing down, because it is the best show on the internet. Welcome everybody to Ask a Wizard. We are going to be doing some live wizard readings tonight, and if you'd like to get one of those live wizard readings for free, all you need to do is like and share the stream. When you do that, you will qualify for a free live wizard reading. The best way to do this is find a friend that is interested in these kinds of things, share it with them. That way I know you're here, so you're already a cool person, and if you share it, you probably are friends with cool people. That's the best way to do it. And tonight we're going to be talking about the Have You Seen This Man? A dream creature who can occupy your dreams. We'll also be looking into the Shapeshifter cryptid, and I'm going to move your necklace at home in real time, plus a bunch more, as you will soon find. This is the best show on the internet, and it would probably help if I got my chat open so I could actually see what you guys are saying right now instead of on my computer. So I'll get that open right here, and we're going to start off strong with the Weekly Weird. All right. Hey, Singing Bear, how's it going? Hey, Camilla, how's it going? Hello, Singing H Bear. Hello, Audrey. Hello, Aiden, how's it going? Hello, everyone. The Detectives. That's a cool name. Welcome, South Texas. And we've got you guys on the list. OPVs is taking track, and we're going to move on to the first segment. Let's do this. All right. Today's news. This is the Weekly Weird News. North Idaho internet providers have blocked Facebook, Twitter because of their domestic terrorism. So if you haven't been following the news, that's good. You shouldn't be following the news. It's crap and trash and lies. That being said, Twitter and Facebook committed an act of domestic terrorist and started censoring people in the government. Namely, they censored our commander-in-chief, which is a terrorist act. And so North Idaho has retaliated against these organizations, domestic terrorist organizations, by banning them. So if you're in North Idaho, you're no longer able to access Facebook and Twitter until they stop committing their acts of censorship. In my opinion, I think Idaho is doing really cool. I love that they're making this play. I think they're crushing, and I'm glad that they're doing it. And I'm glad that they were able to do what other people were afraid to do. So keep on doing it. You guys are legends. Congratulations, and keep crushing North Idaho. They're right across the street from us here in Montana, literally an hour's drive away. So we're big fans of those guys over there. They're pretty awesome. Singing H Bear showing off their emoji skills. Thank you very much. And Aiden says, interesting. Yes, we do. The emoji game is on point. Todoroki out. Alex can pronounce it well. Go for it. What is it? Todoroki. Thank you very much. Now, rather than worrying about the news, which you shouldn't be, let's look at something that you should be worrying about, which is build, grow, and create. Have you ever found yourself trying to read complex philosophy and you don't want to go to the Church of Satan, which is what college is? Well, now you can, and you always were able to. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I can go and just whip out Aristotle and read it cover to cover and be like, this was good literature. I knew everything that was happening. No. That's not what Aristotle's like at all. Aristotle is a complex work that you could spend months on a single 23-page book. And what you have to do typically is you read a sentence and you see a word and you're like, what the heck does that word even mean? You go on Google, you search it, you got to go find some scholar who's like, oh, what Aristotle meant in this translation. It's a whole process. However, there is a person who is on the internet that is actually doing these kinds of things already and does it for you. And I have found him to be a very strong and powerful YouTuber. His name is Gregory B. Sanders. You can find him on YouTube, Gregory B. Sanders, that's his name. And he puts together these compilations of different philosophers. So for example, this one's on Hegel. I have been looking at his Aristotle's Categories one right here, which I'll show you right there. fantastic production value in the sense that he really, really goes through and gets to the details, step by step, chapter by chapter, word by word, so that you can understand these concepts. And it saves me a lot of time when reading Aristotle to have him going in the background chapter by chapter, because he basically has done that linguistic research for you. So if you're interested in getting into these texts, but you're feeling a little overwhelmed, you feel like this is just too much for me, I have found Gregory B. Sadler's YouTube channel to be very helpful. So highly recommend checking it out. Really great guy. And, I don't know what his stances are in a lot of things, and I think that's good. I think that he does a very good job of not trying to present a political view or bias. I'm sure he has one. Everyone does. But he does a very good job of just sticking to the facts. And so that's what I would recommend doing for today's Build, Grow, and Create. So that is the channel I recommend checking out. This is the part of the show where I recommend someone else. What? But Tyler, you're recommending channels in the beginning of your show. Don't you know that that's the worst thing you could do? You're supposed to wait till the end. Well, yeah, I know. I know it's not good for me from a growth perspective. We're not trying to make this thing massive and famous. We're trying to have 1,000 owls. That's our main goal, okay? And if other people grow and succeed along the way, then that's really great. And I'd love eventually for this Build, Grow, and Create segment to be you guys, specifically you, your businesses, your channels, your projects. And that is why we have this segment in here, and that's why it's at the beginning, because this is a community-first organization, the Parliament of the Owls. Now, let's move on to our first incredible video, Wolverine versus Wolves. So I have not seen a Wolverine in a long, long time. I was like, that's a comic book character. That's how long it's been since I've seen an actual, I just lost my cursor. Yes. But now I'm trying to get my cursor back. Come on. Let's see if I can... Yes, Gregory, you're a fantastic philosopher. I get it, but I don't need you right now. So let's just settle down and go back to today's content. All right, there we go. Wolverine fighting off two wolves. Now, this is just intense. I had no idea Wolverines were like legends. I thought it was just the comic book character. I can see why he based it. Because as you've seen in previous videos, wolves are intense creatures. They're no joke. Well, this little guy, he's pretty tiny, right? I'm not looking at that little Wolverine and thinking that's a spooker. He's not going to stand a chance against these wolves. Because YouTube hates the truth. That's correct. So many faces now. That's correct. That is a Wolverine. And those are two wolves who think they're going to get a little nice snackaroo. They're like, wow, look at this weak badger here. He's just free-low. Easy kill. No, not even a bit. They go for the little nip. He's like, I'll go. Let's go. Boom, boom. They're freaked. They can't stand a chance. Look at this guy. He's 2v1ing the wolves. Not even close. By the way, Wolverines are very common around here in Montana.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's go.
He's not just defending, he's going offensive. He's attacking the wolves.
Best defense is a good option.
Heck yeah, it is. Look at these wolves, can't even get a touch. They can't even get a hit off on him. He's busted. And then he just walks away. They're like, you know what? You win, Wolverine. You win. They know not to mess with him. And that is Wolverine versus Wolves. Very effective combatant. New animal to add to the arsenal of Ask a Wizard videos. Really incredible guy there. I'm impressed. I think I'm a big fan of the Wolverines now. I think that they're kind of legendary. And given how powerful wolves are, the fact that they're winning is pretty impressive to me. And with that, we're going to move on to our first big segment of the day, which is... History's Mysteries. Have you seen this man? Is it possible to set this up so the video is on the other side of the screen? Well, possibly we could do that. And you know what? That would be a good idea because I'm left-handed, and left-handed is always superior. All right, I'll look into this. Have you seen this man? So, on today's History's Mystery, This picture has a very bizarre story. Thousands of people claim that they have dreamed of this man, and you might be one of them in the crowd right now, looking at this man's face. Have you ever had a dream of this person? Well, that is the question that is on everyone's mind. You see, back a few years ago, there was a psychologist who had someone claim that they had a dream of a guy that looked like this, and she called him this man. And so that was the initial statement. He's just called this man, and he doesn't seem to be weird. He just kind of shows up in my dreams and kind of looks a little creepy, but he's more or less nice. Didn't think too much of it until a second patient came to the psychologist and had the same exact experience. Another person came in and claimed they had seen this dream person and had this dream and called it this man. Well, this continued on and on until 6 patients of his all claimed to have seen this man in their dreams, and they all called it by this man, and these were separate occurrences. Now, he seems to be a pretty chill dude. He doesn't do anything too creepy or weird. He shows up in your dreams. Some people said that he would help them fly in their dreams. Other people would say they'd get lost in their dreams and he would show them where the exits were. So he just seems to be overall just a pretty legit, chill dream dude that shows up in your dreams, not doing anything too creepy. But no one seems to know how this happened, why this happened, and there's a lot of theories going around the internet for this particular History's Mysteries. So we're going to go through a few of the theories here. That's super cool. That man scares me in my dreams. Oh no, Singing H. Bear. I'm sorry. Hey, how's it going, Stop Motion Studios? Welcome, welcome. So the first theory is the archetype theory. So the belief is that this man represents an archetype in your dream of someone who guides you and helps you when you're lost. So we've collectively created this character in our mind called this man, and his job is to be a guide in your dream world. And this is based off of the work of Carl Jung. And so that's the first theory that's been proposed here for how this man is getting into people's dreams, right? Now, the second theory, a little bit more outlandish, is that it's a superpower. Some people think this is a real man who has like Magneto style or Professor X style psychokinesis powers and can go into people's dreams and influence their thoughts. And so that's theory number 2. Now, the third theory is based off of marketing. And so this is based on the fact that this person has just appeared in so many memes. You've seen him on the internet. You see him on Facebook, that you now see him in your dreams because you've seen him so many times. So the fact that you see it, it's kind of like, if you go and you work at a restaurant or you work at Starbucks, for example, you start to have dreams about working at Starbucks, right? Because you're just there so often. And so that's the third theory. Now, the fourth theory, and the most compelling / possibly not compelling, and I'll tell you why, is that it's all a big marketing stunt. Now, a person came out and claimed that they were responsible for this and that it was a marketing stunt. They claimed that they designed the face on purpose to have very distinguishing features of both a young and old, very prominent things that your brain naturally notes as characteristic traits, so that it would reach the maximum amount of people and say, oh yes, that reminds me of the old man from my dreams. Oh, that reminds me of the guy with big eyebrows in my dreams. Oh yeah, that reminds me of the guy with the thin lips from my dreams. And so it was designed by them to meet the most criteria, so you would fill in the blanks with your dream world. And apparently was designed to sell like a horror movie. Now, the only thing I wonder about with that theory is, if that's the case, it's based on complete falsehood and lies, which a lot of marketing is. However, couldn't you also lie and say you made it to take credit for making something so awesome? Maybe that's it as well. And so those are the theories that are circulating around about this. But what do you guys think? Now, if you're familiar with my TikTok, as you know, we have a video that's going viral right now, where I use magic to make a dream owl appear in your dreams. And if you like, share, comment, and engage, and follow, you will be brought good dreams and positive things. If not, the owl appears and looks at you shamefully. Now, we're doing a similar psychological technique known as a paracosm, so I'm wondering, perhaps this is similar to that. What if this is someone generating a paracosm with this guy to bring about positivity? And so that's my question for you guys here today, and that is today's History's Mysteries. Let's take a look and see what the chat has to say. All I remember is something stupid. I'm not sure what that's in regards to.
He's asking who the guy is.
Oh, got it. Stop motion. He's a person who seems to pop up in too many dreams. Exactly. I don't want to see him. Yeah, well, the good news, stop motion, is he is very nice. He appears to just be a really nice guy who appears in dreams and is just like, oh, are you lost? Well, here's the exit. Let me help you. Would you like to learn how to fly in your dreams? Here we go. And he just guides you. So he doesn't seem like a very mean or scary guy. Neither is the dream owl. But that is the theory of today's History's Mysteries. And looks like you guys are enjoying it, and we're going to go ahead and move on to the next segment. What do you think, OPBs? You got any thoughts?
I've never seen him before. I think I would remember that face. But Aiden has been able to lucid dream since 4th grade.
Nice. A fun tip. If you can't lucid dream and you want to learn how, a great way to do it is to get a Sharpie, and you put a black dot right in the center of your hand here. And what you do is, throughout the day, when you see the black dot out of the corner of your eyes, stop, look at it, take your hand and push down on a hard surface and ask yourself out loud, am I dreaming? If you continue to do that, you'll get the habit of doing that, and you'll actually do it while you're sleeping. And if you do it while you're sleeping, your hand goes right through the solid object, and you ask yourself, am I dreaming? And then you realize you're awake, and you're dreaming in your dream, and that allows you to lucid dream. So that's a fun tip if you want to start lucid dreaming. Stop motion says, okay. Oof. He looks chill, but also intimidating. Thank you. Please get rid of him. Oh my gosh. You guys are not liking this guy at all. All right. So we're going to move on to a bizarre car accident. This is crazy stuff, man. This woman, let me tell you, talk about trying to play it cool. This lady, oh my gosh. Why? Get off my screen. Really, I can't skip it. I can't skip the ad. I literally can't skip the ad.
Asks if it's weird to be able to lucid dream that early.
Is it weird to be able to lucid dream? No, I think it's a gift. Some people learn it when they're young. Some people have been able to do it their whole lives. Some people train to do it. It's kind of like paracosms. It seems to be about a spectrum of, everyone can learn how to do it. Some people are naturally good at it or have experience with it, that kind of thing.
And then South Texas asks what it's good for.
It has a lot of fantastic uses. So the number one use of lucid dreaming is the fact that you now gain access to your dream time to do work on stuff. So you can plan things out, be creative, and use that time for valuable stuff that you would be otherwise just dreaming. The second thing that it's valuable for is Carl Jung discovered that by using lucid dreaming, some people are able to ask the dream characters they run into what their symbolic meaning is, and sometimes they will literally tell you what they represent. So they'll be like, oh, I represent the time that you got bullied when you were a kid, or I represent the feeling you get from your mother's delicious cookies, for example, and so on and so forth. And it can actually help you to interpret the dream. So that's one of the benefits. And then it's just fun. You can go flying around, which is great. All right. So this is the bizarre car accident. Is this California? Oh my gosh. Is this This might be California.
It kind of looks like Anaheim Hills.
It does kind of look like Anaheim Hills, right? This looks like where I used to live. Oh boy. Oh boy. I've been in heaven in my dreams as well. That's awesome. That's crazy. I'm going to try that. Heck yeah. I've been to hell and heaven. I don't want to go to either. Heaven doesn't look like what you think. Well, I mean, I would definitely want to go to heaven if I had to choose between the two. But I could get what you're saying. People are scared of the Logos, the truth. He's terrifying. Jesus Christ is Lord, and he is a very powerful being. The most powerful being, to be frank. So check this out. Going through Anaheim Hills here. we don't know if it's Anaheim Hills, but it's what it seems to be. This lady is swerving what appears like. She's swerving from lane to lane. So, she, this is like what OPV's like when she's driving. This is OPV's driving here. Come on. Where are you? Wait. So she slams on her brakes. She's slamming on her brakes. And just, no, I'm just going to walk away. No, what are you talking about? That's not my car. Huh? What are you talking about? What's that? What's a car? I don't know what cars are. Yeah, what are you looking at? Who are you filming? Just flies over the rail, goes onto oncoming traffic, smashes into a car. She's gone. She's not even in the car anymore. It's just rolling.
I know what happened here.
What on earth is that?
I know
what happened here.
There was a spider in her car.
There was a spider in her car. Look at how...
I recognize that behavior.
Look at her try to play it off. Like, what are you looking at? Watch this. Watch this reaction on her face. She opens the door of her car, slams on her brakes. So we know her brakes work, by the way. We know her brakes work. She just hops out and just casually struts away. Like nothing's going on. And I'm on my phone. What are you talking about? Oh my gosh. What a little sneak. What a little sneak. And then just, oh my God, off-roading and just smashing into it. The music in the background does make it better. That's true. What is that? It's Dublin Way. I'm like 100% sure this is definitely in California. Oh my gosh. So that is a bizarre car accident caught on camera. Absolutely absurd. I am not sure what happened here. We don't know what the backstory is, but she just had to go, I guess. She's just she saw the check oil light come on. She's like, oh well, I guess this car is done, and just left. I think that's what happened here. All right, let's move on to the next segment. What do we got going in here? Brick on gas and string tied to the seat and steering wheel. Whoa, that's some intense stuff. Jeez. All right. Let's get the magic show section. So this is magic. Oh my goodness, I'm supposed to sing. My apologies. Magic illusion and the arcane arts. We're gonna be doing some magic illusion and the arcane arts here tonight, showing you an illusion of the ballerina. This is one of OPV's favorite illusions online. We're also going to be watching a classic cork magic trick from the legend Fred Kapp. And I am going to move your necklace at home. Now, it doesn't have to be a necklace. It can be a pendulum. It can be a string with a weight on the end. You could even use headphones. I think one person used a belt in the last stream we did. But you want something with a necklace works really well. And what's going to happen is I am going to move my necklace here, and it's actually going to cause your necklace to move at home. So if you want to take part in that in just a bit, first I recommend liking the stream and then sharing it to a friend so they can experience it too. That way, when your necklace starts moving, you can call them and text them or Discord them if you're in our private Discord, that is, which we will drop the link to in. We have a beta Discord going on that we're going to be setting up so that you guys have a new social network to replace these just crap that they're putting out there. That being said, you'll be able to reach out to them and see if it moved for them as well. So you'll need a necklace to take part in that, and we'll be doing that in just a bit here. Haven't you made our necklace move before, like last week? Yes, I do it occasionally. We do different magic tricks here, but I'm actually going to do something a little different this time, so you'll like it. Maybe he has different views on everyone. What did you say? Did you let him know it was your dream? What's going on?
Bushy eyebrow guy hit singing H-Bear in her dream when she asked for directions.
Oh, hit him?
No.
Or hit her?
Hit her. In her dream.
She didn't hit him. He hit her?
That's why she doesn't like him.
Oh, okay.
He was rude.
Wow, what a jerk. What a jerk. Okay, well, now I'm not on team this man anymore. I think he's lame. Hitting owls. What a jerk. I'm going to send you a dream owl instead. There you go. Have fun with Dream Owl. He's legendary. All right. So this is the spinning ballerina illusion. So The spinning ballerina illusion. Well, here's some text on the screen just to give you an idea of what to do. You will notice the way that she turns is right to left. But if you concentrate enough, you can actually turn her the other way. So rather than have her spinning left to left, you can have her spin left to right. And this is all based on your brain's visual processing. Or it could just give us this display. So right now, it looks like it's spinning from left to right, or right to left. Actually, that's a good question. Which one is it for you? For me, I'm seeing it spinning around in a circle. So that would be left to right, right? She's spinning counterclockwise for me. And then, whoa, she just turned right to left. Now it's clockwise. It was going, when I started, it was going counterclockwise. Now she's stuck in clockwise. How do I make it go back? Is there a way? How do you do it? Change, woman. Change! What in the world? I can't get it to go back to the way I had it before. What is this thing? What is this ballerina? What is this sorcery, witch woman of ballerina? Who is your master? Who do you serve? God or the devil? Speak to me. Oh my gosh. Let's see if I look at her shadow, maybe I can. There we go. I got it to go back the other way. Okay, now we're counterclockwise again. All right. And that is the bizarre, amazing ballerina illusion. It is OPB's favorite illusion. It's clockwise now. It's going right. Oh, I love this one. And now I looked down, and now she's going the other way. This is just, she just cannot make up her mind. This is like what happens when I ask OPBs what she wants for dinner. She's like, I don't know. It could be like food, maybe sometimes pizza. No, I don't want pizza. Nutella, but it could be sushi, and she just can't make up her mind. That's what the ballerina is here. All right, so that is the ballerina illusion. And now, let's take a look at this classic magician. His name is Fred Capps. This dude is a legend. Again, support Vintage Magic Archives if you like these videos. Give them a sub. Thank you so much, Vintage Magic Archives, for making this possible and putting up these clips. You are a legend and deserve all the support. You guys crush. All right, Fred Capp, let's go. Oh, and I think that I haven't even liked this. There you go. Give that thing a thumbs up. We're giving that thing the thumbs up right now. All right, here we go.
Right, but this is not an ordinary cork.
So he has approached the show here with a cork, what it appears to be a ring container.
Watch very carefully. You'll see the cork move. Watch very carefully now.
What in the world? That's so cool. It looks like a little guy, like a little fairy.
See? That's what I meant. Look, very carefully. I won't do anything. Now you see it move.
Wow.
Do you see that? That's not the muscles of the hand at all. Look.
That looks so cool. It's like, it looks like a little fairy floating in between his hands. It's a cork, but still, it's so neat. Wow. That's incredible.
Next Curly. I do.
You can keep it. You can keep it. That is the levitating cork. Great work there, Fred Capps. That is incredible. Really great illusion. I am a big fan. Thank you so much for entertaining tonight. And we're going to move on to the necklace magic effect. All right. So the necklace magic effect, what we're going to do at home here is I am going to have my necklace, and you can hold a necklace at home. Pendulum works, long string, anything like that. It's going to be just fine to work with. The necklace works too. Headphones, anything with a weight on the end and a string. And what's going to happen here is I am going to move my necklace here, and it's going to cause your necklace to start moving at home as well. I'm going to start off by making it go back and forward like this, and then left to right like this, and then we're going to have it go in a circle. Now, I am going to cause, when I make it go in a circle, I'm going to cause some spooky stuff to happen. It's important to note, we're not talking to spirits here. We're not talking to angels or demons or anything like that. What we're creating is what's called a paracosm. This is a psychological phenomenon, And what's going to occur is you'll notice the light in your room will get a little bit darker. You'll notice that the room feels a little bit colder. Now, there are a small subset of people who also feel it get warmer, so that can happen too. It's not going to be uncomfortable or anything, but what does tend to scare people is you might hear weird noises, a whisper in your ear. Some people even see shadows looking like they're moving. If that happens, it's not spirits, it's not a ghost, it is part of the experience, but if that scares you and you don't want to take part in it, that's perfectly fine. Just don't do the pendulum, put it down. You can stop at any time. If you're doing it, you get too freaked out, put the pendulum down, it will all stop instantly. If you don't want to take part in it at all, just don't hold the pendulum, you won't have anything happen. That being said, that's what's going to happen. I just want you guys to be prepared in advance so you don't get too freaked out. All right. So, go ahead and hold your necklaces just like so. And what I'm going to do is try and connect to your guys' nodes here. Now, it's important that you focus on my necklace while you're holding yours at first, just so I can make sure I get connected to the right wavelength. Okay, somebody just connected. Good, good. Oh, we got 2-3 more people. Oh, there's probably a delay. That's probably... Okay. Ooh, wow. How many people do we have in this chat? Oh, BBs?
13.
Oh my gosh. That explains... Oh man, I don't know if I can move 13 at the same time. I just did 27 on TikTok, and that was exhausting. Okay, wow. You guys are like literally moving my pendulum back, just me thinking about it. My goodness. All right. We're going to try and do this here. I'm going to start trying to move your necklace at home back and forth. You can look at your pendulum now, and you should start to see it moving back and forth just like mine. That's intense. All right, now I'm going to change it up and go from back and forth to side to side. Okay, I think it's working. Should stop and change directions now. And now I'm going to start causing the spooky phenomenon to occur by making it spin in a circle. So we're going to go with the circle here. And as it starts to spin in a circle, it'll almost be like it's opening like a little black hole that's sucking in the light of the room. You'll notice that it feels like the room's just getting slightly darker and darker and getting absorbed into the circle. You'll notice the temperature in the room is beginning to drop. It's getting colder as it spins around and around. Every spin should make it get a little bit colder. A lot of people feel it at the tips of their fingers first, and then their skin. And now we're going to try to do the spooky phenomenon of moving shadows, whispers, bangs, noises, and electronic phenomenon like flashing lights on and off. You might not get all of them, but you'll all definitely get 1 or 2 or 3 of the effects. As we just spin that 3, 2, 1. It should be pretty aggressive now. And then we're going to let that calm back down just like this. 3, 2, 1. And then your necklace should come to a stop and all that phenomenon should go away. You'll notice the brightness of the room increases, the temperature raises back to normal, and everything goes back to normal just like that. And let's see what you guys had in the comments below. What was your experiences at home? Did you experience it moving? What was your experiences below? Let's see. Sure. Favorite color, yellow and pink. Favorite animal, orcas and loving cats. Well, good to know you were busy talking about your favorite animals while we're doing some paranormal phenomenon here. What do we got going on here? Orca, yes. An orca is a whale. Oh, singing H-Bear was scared. I get it. Okay. That was so cool. Awesome. Oh my gosh, that worked. Awesome. I'm glad to see that that's working for you. Guys are having a great experience here. By the way, if you haven't subscribed, hit the notification bell and hit C first. You should probably do that now since YouTube doesn't show us to anyone anymore. We have 0 organic reach. Laugh out loud, my light def dimmed. Awesome. That is amazing, Aiden. Glad to see that that worked for you guys. And wait a minute. It's time for our first segment of Wizard Readings. Boo, 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 boo. So, Wizard Readings here, guys. if you want to support the stream, a great way to do that is go to paypal.me/askawizard. Pay whatever you think a reading is worth, and you will get a 3-card reading instead of a 1-card reading for that price. Now, a great way to support the stream and also get on our letter club is to send a letter to P.O. Box 8881, Missoula, Montana 59807. When you send letters to that P.O. box, we read those live on air. We open the letters. Unless you don't want us to, just write "don't read on air." We won't read them on air. You can send financial support that way as well. It's greatly appreciated. However, it's not required. Morale support is greatly appreciated as well. And I have good news that I have gotten a lot of progress on the Wizard Academy. We've got a lot of those books, which is going to allow you guys to not just support the stream through the PayPal donations, but you're actually going to be able to make money by helping support the stream. And that's what I want to do, because I don't want to grow this stream just through organic channels like YouTube and social, because they don't like what we do. And if they don't like what we do, that's fine. I'd much rather pay you guys than pay YouTube. And so we're trying to set up a program that will allow you guys to get the kickbacks that YouTube is supposed to get, but doesn't get because they don't like us. So let's get this show on the road. Who is up first for the live Wizard reading? Good night, Camilla. All right, let's go. Singing H. Bear, you are up. Is there anything in particular you needed insights on? Let me know. Yes, I come tomorrow. See you later. Awesome. Can I have a reading? Stop Motion Studios.
Added to the list.
Awesome. Added on the list. Boom. All right, Singing H. Bear. Let's see what we got. All right. Ooh, the 7 of Pentacles. Okay, so the 7 of Pentacles here showing up, and I'll let you see that on the screen here. Boom. Just taking a look. This is a fantastic card. This is a very, very positive card. In fact, this is one of my favorite cards to see pop up for other people. It's not my favorite card, but it's my favorite card to have pop up for people. So the 7 of Pentacles is about confidence in the material. And so what this is about is when you put in the hard work in life and you have invested in yourself and you've done the things the right way. You've been practicing, if you've been exercising, eating right, if you've been saving money, if you've been developing new skills so that you're more effective in business and at work, you go through a pretty tough grind period, but then you arrive at the 7 of Pentacles. The 7 of Pentacles is about confidence in the material, and it's saying that you have a harvest and an abundance of value to now take part in. As you can see, it's overflowing abundant plants of the material realm. It's time to reap your rewards from your hard work, and so that's beautiful to see, because you know it's not every time in life when you put in hard work do you get to reap rewards. It's not every time, and so when it does happen, you really need to celebrate those times, because that's one of the best feelings you have in life is not getting lucky, but instead when you have a goal and you set your mind on it and you just work really hard and you achieve it. I think that's even more beneficial than just winning and getting a windfall, frankly, because no one can ever take that away from you. If you got something because, you just got a lucky break. I just won the lottery, for example. You can always justify that. But if you earn what you made and earn your results, no one can take that from you. It's like, oh, sure, you want the same results? Then go put in 10 years like I did. It's a great place to be in life. So glad to see that popping up there for you, Singing H. Bear. And we're going to move on to the next reading.
Adri? I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Adri? All right. Let's see here. Adri, are you still here? Let us know in the comments section below. We will get your reading started shortly. We are attempting to decipher the name. We believe it is Adri.
Adri or Adri?
Adri, if you're here, let us know. Can you make a noise for us in the comments section? Let us know. We'll get your reading soon. What was that?
A noise in the
Oh my goodness. Hey, Jennifer, how's it going? There's Audrey. Adri. I'm here. No problem at all, Singing H. Bear. Glad I could help. All right, Adri, let's get your reading going right now. Boom. Ooh, another great card. Awesome. Adri. Awesome. So this is the High Priestess. I am so happy. We had some pretty negative cards in the last few readings, so this is making me happy to see popping up here. Let's get that on the big screen for you. Boom! That is the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is a major arcana, so this is a bigger picture kind of thing. And what this represents is you chose to do things the right way in your life, where you are the kind of person who is taking your principles and what you believe in and then choosing the path that you follow in life. A lot of people get in trouble because they don't do this and they try to focus on the practical and the pragmatic. So they go and they take a job that they really hate because, well, I got to make money, right? The High Priestess says, well, my principles tell me that I shouldn't have to be in pain and agony every day to make a living, and I'm going to take less money, for example, for a job that I can tolerate. Now, that doesn't mean you have to love it, but a job that you can tolerate and is in alignment with your principles over a higher paying job that really sucks and just makes you feel miserable, to be frank. And so the fact that you're grounding yourself in your principles, what you hold dear, what you hold true and sacred, and then analyzing your pros and cons means you're on the right track. So good job, keep it up. Don't compromise on those principles. Stick with it, and I think you're going to be really happy with the results. And that is the reading I have for you today, Adri. I hope that helps you out and gave you some insights. All right, who is up next?
South Texas.
South Texas. What a great place. That, I think, the home of the Chupacabra. Heck yeah. Chupacabra. Chupacabra. All right. No problem at all. Glad I could help you. By the way, if you're sitting around here and you're like, does this guy just do readings all day? If you just came on in, the next thing that we're going to be covering here in just a moment after we get these readings done is an insane tornado strike. This is just absolutely crazy. And then we're going to be looking into, oh my goodness, this is a lot, the cryptid known as a shapeshifter, as well as some paranormal videos. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, that is what we're going to be doing in just a bit. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and we'll be doing that in just a moment. Who's up next? South Texas. Here we go. Home of the Chupacabra. Ooh, okay. All right, you got a big choice ahead of you. So what we see here for South Texas is Two of Wands popping up here. Okay, so this is the biggest choices you got to make in life. The Two of Wands is a choice regarding your principles and your values. So this is being at a crossroad here. And as you can see in the photo, he's actually holding a picture of, holding a world in his hand, and then his principles, that's the wand in the other hand. So being at a crossroads where you have to choose, do I go with the way of the world and what they're saying, or do I stick with what I know is true? Do I stick to my principles and my beliefs and take the hard route of not following the ways of the world, but reap the reward of living an honest and virtuous and true life? You have to make this choice a lot of times in your life, with career, with your social circle, with lots and lots of different things. And so we see you at a crossroads here. You are the only person who can make this choice. I obviously would recommend sticking to your principles, but I know that's a hard decision, and there's some times when you should compromise, and you should say, you know, it's okay. I'm going to do I'm not going to talk about what I believe in. I'm not going to talk about my faith. I'm not going to talk about my politics, whatever it is that you've decided to compromise on. I'm going to just clock in, clock out, get my paycheck, go home, and then I'll work on those kinds of things. And there are times in the life when that's okay, and you should do that. And you're the only person who can make that decision. So that's the recommendation I have for you there, South Texas. Consider those things, consider the pros and cons, and make your choice from there. I am here at Singing Bear, but what does that mean? What's going on? Dang, that's deep. Aiden says, that's deep. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad that helps. Evie, you here? I want to mess up the words I type. You up that for it? All right. I don't know what's going on. Who's up next?
Aiden.
Aiden. All right, Aiden, you are up next. Let's get your live wizard reading going. Aiden, it's time for your reading. Do-do-do. All right. Let's get some likes and shares up in here, and let's get Aiden a reading. Ooh, Aiden coming in with a hard card here. Oh my goodness. Wow, actually had a big choice I've been thinking about. I know, isn't it crazy how accurate these things are? We just, it's just kind of awesome, really. Synchronicity is quite fantastic. We were doing this. I got invited to Clubhouse, the Clubhouse app. I got invited 2 days ago, and I've been doing readings on there. And we were doing readings for probably like 4 hours straight for just various people who came onto the Clubhouse app. And at the end, one person had sat there the entire time, silently in the bottom, and they came in at the end, they're like, every single person you did a reading for was 100% on point. What the hell is going on? I was like, I'm like, that's what I do. That's my thing. It was quite fun. By the way, if you're on Clubhouse, you can follow me at Ask a Wizard. By the way, it's quite fun. I'm enjoying it over there. I'm kind of addicted to it. It's an ENTP nightmare. All right, Aiden. Right. So we got the Three of Swords popping up here for you. So the Three of Swords is a and there you go, nice and close, is a pretty intense card. So this is about growth and knowledge that leads to emotional pain. So this could be something like learning the fact that you like a girl and then you find out she doesn't really feel that way. That's a good common example of this. Another one is finding out maybe someone has betrayed you or lied to you or is talking behind your back. But overall, this is about gaining new wisdom that's pretty emotionally painful. However, it's good to know to look on the bright side here that gaining this knowledge actually is a good thing. Because the earlier you gain the knowledge and deal with the emotional pain now, the less pain it's going to be down the road. Because the longer that goes on, the more pain you're going to have to deal with. So the sooner you can get it over with, the better. So that's the bright way of looking at this, is like, hey, at least it's in the past now. Now I can grow. But it can be a little intense. So that's what we see popping up here for you. I hope that helps you out and gives you some insights and lets you know what you need to know. Singing H Bear says, Hermione, only one what is going on? My goodness.
So name one fictional character you would want to meet in real life.
One fictional character I would want to meet in real life. Gosh,
it's
I
hard
don't
to
know.
choose one, right?
Yeah, well, especially ENTP
Gandalf's
Tyler.
a good one.
Gandalf's pretty legit.
Joker.
I'm just looking at my bookshelf here. I don't know, man. That's intense. Fictional is what makes it hard. Like,
Yeah.
Obviously, you go to Jesus. He's number one. But, like,
He's real.
Aslan. Boom! I'll go to Aslan, who's just Jesus of the C.S. Lewis Chronicles of Narnia. We'll go to Aslan. That is so crazy. Aiden says, bro, I was just thinking about my crush, man. These are so accurate. That's so crazy. I'm glad that that's helping you out and giving you the insights. That's why we do these things. Stop Motion Studios. That hard parts. Oh, is that who's up next?
Yeah.
All right, Stop Motion Studios. Time for your reading. Is there anything? Is Stop Motion says mine is Batman. Batman's a good one too. Batman's a really good one.
I'm surprised you didn't say Gandalf.
I would go with Gandalf, but like Aslan. So here's the problem, ENTP Tyler. What happens when you present these games is I don't think of them as who is the person I want. I think, how do I win? That's my mentality, is I immediately gamify it and say, what is the correct choice? Versus, like, I literally can distinguish between what I want and what I think will win. And so I think Aslan wins because he's Jesus. But if I wanted to go with who I wanted, it would probably be Gandalf-ish, maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of good characters out there. All right, let's find out. Vegeta would be ridiculous. Oh no.
Gohan.
Dude, Raven, I don't tell anyone this. Don't tell OPBs.
Don't tell them.
I totally had a crush on Raven when I was a kid. When I used to watch the original Teen Titans, I was like totally into Raven. I thought she was legit.
I look nothing like Raven.
No, not at all. No. That's a fact. It was very odd because she's very different from the type of girl that I'm usually into, which is what made it funny. All right, let's go. Stop motion. Let's do this. All right, we got the Aerofan. No, what was that?
He wants to see something that could help him get his crush.
Something that could help get his crush from Stop Motion?
Yeah.
All right, well, That's crazy how insane. That's amazing how completely accurate. That's absurd, man. It kind of scares me sometimes. This is the Aerophant. So the Aerophant is a major arcana, and oddly enough, this is going to kind of blow your mind. The Aerophant is about, in regards to a relationship, it's about faking it till you make it. And so this is saying that you should... people misconstrue this principle. They think it's bad to be fake, quote unquote. They say be yourself. Well, be yourself is the worst advice you could ever give someone because it limits you at who you could be. You should not try to be yourself. You should try to be the best version of you can be, and you should find out what the best version of you could be imagined, and that's what's called an archetype. And we're usually drawn to different characters in fantasy. So, for example, Batman or Hermione or fill in the blank. We all are drawn to different archetypes that that we want to embody. We like them because they have qualities we want. And so what the Aerophant says is find who is succeeding at what you're trying to do, or a role model that you believe in and admire for their virtue, and fake being like that person until you understand how and why they act the way they do, and then make it your own. Then, once you've mastered from a master, then you can start creating and transforming and making it uniquely you. And so, in regards to this crush situation, this is exactly what, specifically men in general too. Women don't have this problem as much, but men really need to focus on exuding confidence when they first talk to a girl they're interested in, because we have a biological thing in us that says if I go and approach the girl and talk to her, I feel like I could literally die. And that's the emotions that you feel as you get stressed, you get freaked out. And people theorize this is because, back in the day, you talk to the wrong woman and it turns out she's with another guy. The guy would come in and just bash your head in with a rock. So we get a little scared of that kind of thing. But nowadays that doesn't happen. But that fear is still there. And so for men, it's very important that you practice approaching, realize you don't get your head smashed in with a rock. And then after you've done it a few times, you realize, oh, okay, I don't need to be so scared. This isn't that big a deal. And from there, it's important that you're just exuding the confidence that you're not scared of that happening. Everyone still has a little bit of that. Same thing happens with performing artists. So when you go on a stage, every time you get freaked out, but you have to put on the act that you're not freaked out. If you go up on stage and you're like, hi everyone, my name's Tyler. I'm going to do some magic tricks for you. It's not going to go over well. So you have to go and exude confidence, even if you're not feeling confident. So that would be what this card recommendation is for you. And I hope that helps you out, stop motion. The guy's streaming right now, but he's non-fictional. What's going on? What is happening? Anyone and every answer this option. What is going on in the chat?
Age Bear asked, who is a fictional character you would have liked to date?
But that's a fictional character. I'm not fictional. Are you calling me fake?
I said non-fictional. You just
non-fictional. All right. So with that, is there anyone else looking for a live wizard reading? Or are we good?
Yes, sir. More people.
Oh, there is? My goodness. Okay. This is
after
a long one.
It's Jennifer.
Jennifer, you are up. Let's go. Yes, it helps a lot. Thanks. Awesome. Glad I was able to help.
Noah.
Wow. We've got a list. We have got some cards jumping out of the ground. Let's see what we got here. Jennifer, are you here? Let us know in the comments below. We'll get your reading started shortly. And then after that is Noah. Noah, I'm a big fan of your flood. I think that was legit. Big fan.
I like his boat.
Oh, you liked his boat? Okay. Yeah. I mean, the boat's pretty cool too, but I mean, the flood, that was legendary. Alyssa McBride, how are you doing? I wouldn't mind a reading. Awesome, Alyssa. She shall be added to the list.
And she is up.
We should probably put a limiter on the middle readings and move to the end readings, because this is going to be such a long segment for people. All right, Jennifer, let's get a reading going for future improvements at Ask a Wizard. Let's take a look here. Noah, hey, thank you for working in a new one. I'm glad. Most people aren't a fan of the flood. I actually really like it when God does purges. I think that he should do more purges.
He promised he would.
Yeah, well, not floods, but he'll come back with other ones. Fire. Yes. Yes. You'll baptize the world with fire. If I believe is the actual quote.
I think so.
All right, Jennifer. Let's see here. So what we got here is the King of Cups. So the King of Cups is about taking action on emotions. And so what this is saying is that you are in a very rare situation where you should actually trust your gut. You know, people tell you all the time, trust your heart, trust your feelings. Most of the time, that's terrible advice. You really shouldn't just trust your gut, trust your instincts. But in this particular case, the card is saying, look, the situation that you're in, if it doesn't have these long-term consequences, it's not going to be something that you even think about 3 months from now. Just do it, because you've spent so much time and energy worrying about, should I do this, should I not, should I go to the concert, should I not go to the concert? Just pick an answer, yes or no, and move forward. Trust your gut on the answer, and that's going to get you past this current roadblock you're in. You have this emotional roadblock, and it's holding you back, and you know what the answer is in your gut, but you're just not willing to make a choice because I'm getting the impression you don't want to upset someone. I think you don't want to offend somebody, and that's what's coming to mind here. So that's the reading I have there for you. I hope that helps you out and gives you some insights, and we're going to move on to the next reading. The one, the only, Noah. Wow, that's so crazy. This card says, build a boat. Jesus, please build a boat. I don't know what that even means. I guess that's the end of his reading. Who's next? Whoa. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Let's take a look here.
What card is it?
So what we got here is the Temperance card. So the Temperance card here popping up, oddly enough, does involve water and flowing. It does involve that. It's a major arcana card. However, what this represents is about managing and controlling your emotions from the subconscious. And so what this is talking about here is you have emotional energy that right now I think you think of in a negative way. I think that you kind of beat yourself up from the fact that you can kind of get overwhelmed by your emotions sometimes. And what this card is saying is those emotions are actually energy. They're force. And while they may be annoying right now because you're not putting them in the right direction, as you can see in the card, the path to your king's crown, your higher self, is found by learning how to take that emotional energy and use it in a productive way. So you might be the kind of person who gets really energetic, really excited easily, and you can take that energy and instead of putting it into, say, like video games or being hyper or things that you maybe are not so happy about, you can actually put that into growth and transformation. And so that's what this card represents there for you. So I hope that helps you out, Noah, and gives you some insights. Hey, I'm going to head out for the night. Going to catch Bedtime Story live before I go to sleep. All right, sounds great. I'll see you later, Singing H-Bear, and we're going to move on to the final reading. Alyssa McBride, are you here? Can you make a noise for me? Do, the legendary Alyssa. Yeah, I think we should probably limit the first batch to 3 readings, and then we can do all the rest at the end. Okay. I think 3 is a good number just in the future, because I'm realizing this is a lot of readings. This is like back when I did just the Facebook live stream, and I would only do readings. Good night. Noah says, wow, awesome. I'm glad to hear that that's sounding on point for you, Noah. Let's get Alyssa's readings. All right. Ooh, okay. Start ending off strong. We're seeing a lot of transformation and growth going on in the magic, the Parliament of Owls. My goodness. There we go. This is the 3 of Wands here for you. So the 3 of Wands is about growth in the spiritual. And so what this is saying is you are starting to transform and grow on this new journey that you've begun. So the Wands path is the biggest choices we make. There are virtues, there are principles, they are what we hold dear and true. For example, I'm a Christian, so for me, that's worshiping Jesus Christ, the truth, the light, the way, the logos, as it's called in the Bible in Greek. And you might have different principles, but this is about going on a process of transformation with those principles and sticking true to them. So when you're in the 3 of Wands state, you're growing spiritually and you're starting to feel the actual improvement of your actions. So you've begun the journey. Typically, there's a crossroad point where you think, do I even want to continue on with this? Is this worth my time? Then you make your choice and move into that growth phase, which is the first spark of, wow, that worked. And wow, this actually made a big difference. And that's a really great place to be. Because the spiritual ones tend to be slow stories. So this tends to take quite a while to change. This isn't something that's just instantaneous overnight transformations. This is typically a long process. So you're in the starting phase of feeling the benefits of your spiritual growth. And that's what we got popping up there for you, Alyssa. I hope that helps you out and gives you some insights. And we're going to move on to the next segment. Boom. Good night, everyone. All right, let's get some Live Wizard readings going up in here. Oh, no, we won't. We're done with that.
Ending up in here.
We're ending those streams. We're moving on to the next segment here. Insane tornado strike. This thing is crazy. I've never seen a tornado just annihilate something like this. This is absurd. Absolutely insane. I'm probably gonna have to do a little skipping around because it's a bit of a longer video. But let's see here. I'm gonna head out when the live starts. All right. See you later, Singing H Bear. Have fun. So in the beginning, nothing too spooky. Just kind of looks like a regular gust, right? Now, like, I don't look at this and I'm not frightened by that. But then it just transforms. So at this point, I'm still not scared of it, right? It just kind of looks like some wind. It's not that intense. And it just goes full aggro out of nowhere. And it starts transforming into this black cloud. Look at that. Just instantly. It goes from this harmless gust. Look at it, you know, if you saw this, you would probably keep driving. That doesn't look scary, right? Into just shattering the earth. It's frying the power cords. Just terrorizing. Just ripped a truck right off the ground. It's evaporating a roof. What is that? Is there dirt inside that? I just don't understand. What is this cloud? Is it smoke? Did it start a fire? It's just incredible. I'm really glad we don't live near tornadoes. That is just insanity to me. I can't believe he's brave enough to keep driving through. Yeah. What are you doing, man? Get out. Whoa, it's starting to look like a double rainbow. It's a double rainbow, everyone. You know, I think it's starting to look like a triple rainbow. God's promise fulfilled. Beautiful. Absolutely insane. So that is a tornado. I had no idea they could just go from just basically nothing to just incredible destruction just so quickly. It's really freaky how quick it can do a turn. All right, so the next segment here you guys may be familiar with. This is what's known as a bit. It's a bit of a funny segment. I'm going to pretend to be serious here for a little bit. So if you guys, OPVs likes to edit these guys out and do them specifically. So it's time to get very serious here. Very serious here. All right, yes, just got to remember I am the master species because of my left hand. Yep, all right, here we go. Are we ready? Are we ready? Let's go. Let's do this. On today's segment of Left Hands Matter, I've been seeing a lot of people making commentary from wealthy left-handed people about how we shouldn't be using violence and we shouldn't be looting and rioting, but instead we should be boycotting all of the righties' products to hit them in their pockets. Well, I think we should be doing both, and I support both. As long as you're focusing on what we are doing and you're ignoring why we're doing it, you're the problem. If you only select poor left-handed people, you will find that they're doing a lot worse than other people in the world who aren't poor. And that's a problem. It is your fault for having nice things. How can a poor left-hand person ever have a flashy watch and a nice necklace? Only through looting. It's our only opportunity. Left hands matter. All right, let's move on to the next segment here. I'm scared of tornadoes. I stick to our hurricanes. Awesome. All right, my apologies. Left-handed history. All right, here we go. Today's left-handed history is von Goethe Johann Wolfgang. Goethe, as it is pronounced, is a legendary poet, writer, philosopher, scientist, architect, physiologist, botanist, psychologist. He's just everything that's amazing because, again, left hand. Goethe is a writer that is so fantastic. He is often compared to Shakespeare, Homer, and Dante. So this dude is incredible. One of the greatest writers of all time. Now, he starts off, his first job is a lawyer, actually, for the Holy Roman Empire that Napoleon was in. And he is a lawyer during the Holy Roman Empire and wrote his first book. Now, his book was so good, it just blew up. Everyone loved it. In fact, Napoleon himself said that he loved Goethe's writing and had read his book 7 times over. This is Napoleon, the other left-handed legend. And he was considered to be an absolute expert in the field of love and romance. And in fact, he invented his own relationship theory called classicism. And what this is antithetical to is romanticism. So he looked at these romantic stories that people would tell about love and Romeo and Juliet, and he was like, this is not reflective of reality at all. You know, true love isn't just, you know, oh, you bought me flowers, oh, you got me chocolates. True love is like, you know, your woman is cleaning a baby's butt and you got to go and feed the chickens outside and it's raining and it's snow, but you still need to look at each other and say, I love you at the end of the day. And that's what Goethe here is expanding upon in the classicism form of romanticism and relationship theories. And he invented all of that. Now, you might be thinking, well, this guy just blew up. Napoleon's reading his book 7 times over. What do you think his next thing's going to be, right? Write another book? No, not at all. He becomes a government worker. Why does he become a government worker? Well, because he wants to make things happen. And so he goes into government work and starts building national theaters in his area, making beautiful, extravagant, just amazing theaters all across his nation. And he also planned and built out giant parks within the city. The fact that all cities have big parks in the middle of them now was because of Goethe. He invented that idea of building beautiful gardens inside of cities so that people had nature to explore and they weren't just trapped in their little cubicles. And so he actually came up with that concept along with the theater, in introducing the arts and nature to the everyday person, even if they lived in a city. In fact, his most famous invention, you may be familiar with it, is the Faust. It's a book I actually have on my shelf right over here, and it's where we get the Faustian deal. So he invented the character archetype of the satanic offer, and so he is the originator of this concept of Satan comes to you, and you accept his offer, but at a cost. It always is at a cost. So you ask for what you want, and you get what you want, but getting what you want betrays you in the end. And that's what's called a Faustian deal. So, like, for example, the Midas touch is the most classic example. I want everything to be gold that I touch. Well, now everything you touch becomes gold, and now you can never eat. You die if you touch yourself. You're doomed. And so that's the Faustian deal, and he invented that. And it's a very beautiful expose on how Satan really operates. Satan definitely does keep his promises sometimes to people. When people ally with Satan, he will make you famous, And then you'll find out being famous makes you turn into a drug addict. Your life falls apart. It destroys you and your reputation and your family and your relationships. And that's a classic example of the Faustian deal and an everyday example. And he really highlighted that. And kind of like how C.S. Lewis highlighted it with his Screwtape Letters, which is another great book that exposes the way that Satan tempts us. Now, another thing to put under the left-handed belt of Goethe, my apologies, Goethe, was that he actually inspired both Hegel and Nietzsche. In fact, Hegel and Goethe were in correspondence with each other. They would send letters back and forth. And these are two legendary philosophers, one legendary philosopher and one joke, to be frank. But one guy who's considered to be a legendary philosopher by people who don't know philosophy because they're fools, and then another guy who Hegel's a mixed bag, okay? Hegel is a guy who gets a bad rap because bad people use his philosophy to justify some bad stuff. But in Hegel's defense, he's just really hard to understand, and they just misinterpreted what he said. He's actually a pretty soft and nice guy, but people kind of give Hegel a bad rap. Nietzsche's a piece of trash. He deserves to be in a trash can. I don't like Nietzsche one bit. He's a garbage person. But that being said, Goethe inspired both of them. So, Goethe, on top of all of this, he's a famous author, he's working for the government, building theaters, he's planning out parks, probably not much time for anything else. No, not at all. He's a left-handed person. So he became an expert in geology, chemistry, physiology, botany, psychology, and optometry. All of them. He was an expert in all of them. He invented a theory of colors just in his free time. Busy guy, being left-handed. Really awesome. In fact, he was the first proponent of what you hear me always whining about, as OPVs calls it, complaining about, speaking about, talking about. Goethe called out science before it started falling apart. So as you guys know, science is not reliable. Science is less reliable than a coin flip. It's actually less accurate than a coin flip. 52% of science cannot be reproduced. That's called the reproducibility crisis. In fact, this article we're looking at here shows psychological studies are inaccurate are only reproducible 36% of the time. It's absolutely absurd. And Goethe predicted that this would happen in advance. And the way he was able to predict it was he told them, if your philosophy of science does not include the worship of truth and God, your entire organization will fall apart. And they ignored him, and now we are living the prophecy of Goethe, and that is where we live today, is if you cannot accept that science has to be founded in a faith and worship of the truth, then you have no hope. And that's where we're at today with science, and that's why it's so unreliable today. And with that, it will conclude today's left-handed history. I hope you guys enjoyed today's left-handed history, and we're going to move on to the next segment, which is an IRL golem is sighted. This is the paranormal paracosm for you guys. Very spooky video we're going to be looking at here. Might be real, might be fake, we don't know, but it is spooky nonetheless. It's pretty scary to drive, though. What are we looking at? It was also like, oh, you guys, strong winds. Yeah, we hit some of those on our way to Montana. That was intense. Mentioned what?
She mentioned that Montana got high winds.
It does get some pretty high winds. All right, so this is the spooky, this is IRL golem. What's up? Oh, I should have swapped it out for yours. So it's not all like this, don't worry. So these guys are hearing some weird noises out. They said that they saw something falling down from the sky, a little freaked out, so they're going out to investigate. No, I read I read the description. So one of these guys, oh, you want me to translate the Spanish? He's saying, would you like guacamole? It's $1 extra. That's what he's saying.
Yes, of course.
Oof. All right, so that's it right there. That's the guy hunched over out in the woods. You see what appears to be Gollum. Whew. And that is the Gollum sighting there. Absolutely spooky. Very, very freaky. And that is the Gollum footage that we have. And that's where the video ends, actually. So little ominous, little spooky. And that is our first paranormal paracosm for today. Let's take a look at what we got next. All right, so the next segment for today is a very fun one. Fantastic cryptids and where to find them. We're looking at the cryptid known as the Shapeshifter. So this cryptid is one that apparently I'm a mixed bag on this one. So I'm on the board with there not being shapeshifters. I think pretty solid. I came into this cryptid thinking shapeshifters are obviously not real. They are not something that you should believe in. And after watching the videos, also not that convinced with the videos. However, I'm going to show you one reason why I now am about 90% convinced shapeshifters are real. I'm going to show you the reason why I believe this. Now, shapeshifters are supposedly humanoid-like creatures. They look like humans, but they also have secret lizard-like qualities. Typically in the eyes, sometimes it's the face, but they tend to have these lizard-like qualities. And common ways you detect them is their eyes change into like lizard-like eyes. And so that's some shots here of just what it would look like. These are supposed examples of it happening. Now we're going to look at some videos here, and I'm going to show you why I now 100% believe in shapeshifters fully and completely. So let's take a look at the first video on our list here. So this is the first video. Actually, I can't show you. I'll show you in just a bit. So this is the first video showing what appears to be some shapeshifter nonsense going on. Watch her eyes, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. So take a look at the eyes, and you're going to see what the shapeshifter is. Do you see that? Absolutely freaky, right? We got a closer-up of it, too. What is that? What in the world is that? It literally, like, her eyes load. Look at that. It looks like she has her eyes on her, like her eyelids. Like she closed her eyes, and you know the kids' cartoons where they draw the eyes on their eyelids? It's what it looks like, right? Really weird, right? And so that's the first sighting we have here. And this is a news broadcast, too. Very, very spooky, very scary stuff. What are you checking at?
It's quite the freeze frame.
Yeah, it is. It is very weird. So that's the first one we have here, the first evidence that we have to support the shapeshifter theory. Now, let's take a look at the second one here. So this one is, this is actually the one where I am now 100% convinced. Now, it's not the video. I'm going to tell you why I'm convinced that shapeshifters are real at the end here, though. So take a look at his eyes. So you see that his eyes appear to be changing in and out of what looks like a lizard-like eye. It's very odd. You see how his pupils turn in almost like cat-like? Very bizarre. you see his eye and pupil changing to this cat-like image. And so that's the first one that I have here. However, the reason I am convinced now that they're real is right down here at the bottom. YouTube put a box telling me that this is not real. Reptilian humanoid shapeshifters are not real things. It's all a lie. It's fiction and conspiracy theories. So if YouTube is telling me that, I am 100% convinced it's real now. Because when has YouTube's box ever, in any context, told the truth? I can't think of a single time YouTube has put a disclaimer box on a video and it hasn't been a blatant lie. All I think of when I hear the word YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, all of them, the only thing that comes to my mind is these are filthy, dirty liars. And so if they're saying it's not real, I'm convinced. That's the most convincing evidence I think there is of the existence of shapeshifters, is the fact that YouTube is putting this disclaimer. They put it on this one too. Right here, same thing. So if YouTube is saying it's not real, then we know for a fact that it is. And this one here is the final piece. So this is a security guard for Barack Obama back in the day. And people are spotting this guy, and it's a security detail for Obama. And he has got some strange qualities. Let me show you. Just to be clear, no, it's not Gollum here. It's not what appears to be, what's the guy without the nose?
Lord Voldemort.
This is not actually Voldemort. Just want to make this clear. And no, this isn't the lizard person. This is just a really evil, ugly guy. Just throwing that out. This is a really ugly, really evil guy. He can't even smile like a human. Look at that. Even his smile looks demonic. Every person on the planet, if you do a natural smile, there's not a person on the planet who smiles and you go, oh, that person is clearly evil. To distort your face, like, hi everyone. It's just so, gosh, what a freak.
The tongue is very lizard-like.
But that's not who we're here for.
Oh.
Who we're here for is this man standing right in the front here. So you can see him now. He looks like a normal person, right? Just a standard security guard. He's a bit taller than the guy standing next to him, who also seems like a big guy, but nothing too odd, right? Watch. Here he is. Still looking like a normal human. Nothing too out of the ordinary yet. And then his face starts to change. Check it out. Did you see it? So he developed ridges and his face stretches out. Very weird. Very weird. And there's a close-up of it. So you can see him actually changed here. Looks very different. So you saw him looking normal. Now look at him in the back row. So right here over these heads, you can see the same security guard. So before, looking pretty normal, right? This guy does not look anything odd. Now when we get a different camera angle, though, you see this guy over here. He's now changed. And we're going to get a close-up on it. Before, he looked like a black man standing there, just pretty normal, being a security guard. Now he's gotten this green tint, and his face is elongated and looks very lizard-like, right? It's very bizarre. And there's just a filter thrown on top of it for who knows reason why. But and so that is the last sighting that we have here of this guy. So it's a very interesting thing. He kind of looks like he changes. Now, would I be compelled to think this is real? No, I'm not thinking this is real until I see that disclaimer. When I see that YouTube disclaimer, I know that it's real. And that's really what convinced me, is that YouTube disclaimer. But pretty weird stuff, right? Pretty odd. So what I would say is, based on the evidence, based on the videos, I would say not real. If I had to go based on the disclaimer of YouTube, I'm going to go with 100% real. So I'm going to go meet it in the middle and call it 50-50. That's where we're going to meet, and that is today's Cryptids file. I hope you guys enjoyed that particular one. Very scary and interesting stuff. This one looks more legit than the last one. I agree as well.
The guy's cat eyes.
Yeah, the cat, it's very odd. Now, we're going to move on to the next paranormal paracosm. This one is just straight weird. I don't know what's going on here. Now, to be clear, the video we're going to watch is like a legit video. I checked my sources on this because I was like, this is the fakest thing ever. I can't bring this. But apparently, this is like legit, real footage. People were pointing, and this wasn't just one dude. This is hundreds of people are pointing their high-powered telescopes at the moon, and the moon buffers. That's the only way to describe it. The moon literally loads. It is so freaky. I don't understand how this is possible, but that's what happens here. It's absolutely bizarre. So this is they call it the lunar wave, and no one can explain what this was, and apparently it's happened quite a few times now. And to make things even more bizarre, YouTube has been scraping this video, and people have to keep re-uploading it as a mirror upload so that people can watch it. People are trying to take this down, so this stream might go down if I show you guys this. I don't know why. But they apparently do not want people showing you this video. And so this is it right here. I can't tell if it's playing or not. There we go. Okay, so here's the moon. And so keep in mind, hundreds of people all are pointing their telescopes. This is just one of the feeds that saw this happen. So hundreds of eyewitnesses confirmed this happened. Check it out. You can see it start in the beginning right here. Right off the bat, it starts, and then it gets even weirder. So we're looking at the moon. Beautiful, right? Like, the fact that you can get that close is so cool. You see it? Did you see the buffer? Oh, man. Too far. All right. Watch the very bottom of the moon. You see the buffer line, right? Looks kind of like a glitch. And here it's starting going right. It's like it's loading a new image. All the way up. And this isn't a camera glitch. This isn't like, oh, the video is recording it weird. Oh, it's it's a telescope. Hundreds of people saw this. And there's another one. It's like it's loading. Isn't that weird? Like, what in the world is that? I don't understand what in the world could be causing the moon to look. And you can see it over on the corner too. It's like it's fading in and out, almost like a projector on a screen. Look at that.
Flat Earth confirmed.
I don't know what this has anything to do with the Earth being flat, but my gosh, no, I don't think this would confirm flat Earth at all. But it does seem to confirm that I honestly don't know what this confirms, other than the fact that this is some weird stuff, right? I have no clue what this is, what it has to do with anything. It's just a bizarre, beautiful, bizarre phenomenon. I wonder could it be that there's like a windstorm on the moon? Maybe there's like wind, but there's no air, is there? There's no air on the moon, so how could that? I'm at a loss.
It's loading.
Look at that! Look, this is not Photoshop. This is real footage of the moon. It's so fast, too. Did I pause it? Boom! Look at that. It's so... What? It's pulsating. What on earth is that? What could that be? I have no clue. I'm literally at a loss for this one. And so that is the moon buffering. If you guys have any theories, any thoughts, let me know. I honestly, this is the first time we've watched the Paranormal Paracosm where I'm really stumped. I don't understand what this could be. It's really bizarre. It's starting to make me think like the alchemist believe that the sun and the moon are not space objects, but are instead suspended in space, and they move around like a clock. That's what the alchemists teach, and it's to line up essentially. They line it up with astronomy, and so it's not so much that they believe it as much as they're thinking of it as like a clock that represents things. But yeah, I mean it just doesn't even that doesn't make sense though. I don't know. I have no idea. And so that is the moon buffering. Absolutely bizarre mystery. And with that, we're going to move on to our final segment of the day, practical philosophy. Sorry for clapping. That's probably really loud on the mic. My apologies. Think on the movie Chicken Little with the panels in the sky. Exactly, right?
Yeah.
It's like a sound wave. Yeah, it's really weird. This one, yeah, it's very odd.
I wonder what would happen if you were on the moon.
Yeah, like, is it like what if someone like bombed the moon? Because I know Obama actually did bomb the moon. You want a real conspiracy theory? I have a great conspiracy theory that I made up myself, which I want you guys to know. This is actually how a conspiracy theory is formed. So a conspiracy theory is actually very similar to a magic trick. And so what you do with a magic trick is you say, what are the pieces of facts that I need, and what bridge can I make to connect things so that you feel like everything is normal and correct? And then how can I bend it ever so slightly so that it sounds really bizarre and crazy, but it still fits the facts? And that's what a conspiracy theory does. It's also what a magician does. And so the fact points are, Obama funded the space program and sent a spaceship to the moon. When they sent a spaceship to the moon, they bombed the moon with missiles and shot material up into the air. They then came back to Earth, and they completely abandoned NASA, stopped funding NASA, defunded the whole program, and never went to space again under his administration. The reason why is that he went to the moon, bombed the moon because there was aliens on the moon, and just found out he was massively outmatched. And the aliens said, look, you never come back here again, we don't destroy your planet. Obama said yes, and that's why we ended NASA. And then NASA, of course, came back, so that ruins the theory. But, that's fake NASA. Fake NASA came back. And so that is my conspiracy. Yes. Welcome, Shadow Owl. How are you doing? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot to mention. If you guys want to be owlified at any point, let us know during the live readings. All you do to get an owl name is think up of a cool name, cool word followed by the word owl. It could be potato owl, book owl, ninja owl, whatever you want. And that's all you do to get owlified, by the way. All right, so the practical philosophy. Let's take a look into this. So practical philosophy is coming in from the Enchiridion by Epictetus. And the quote says, be prepared to say that it is nothing to you. This is a very, very powerful philosophy that people do not take advantage of enough. If you can't walk away from a deal, you don't have a deal. You have to realize this. If you can't walk away from the deal, you do not have the deal. You should never accept a situation where you can't say no and walk away. If that is what is being offered to you, you should not be involved at all with that because it's not going to work out well for you. The more that you can become self-sufficient, and that means meet your own needs, the better deals you can start making. The person who is able to walk away from a deal is the person who has the power in the situation. If you can master this one principle alone, you're going to be better than 90% of negotiators. You can go and take manipulation classes, you can go and learn persuasion, rhetoric, sophistry, all of that stuff. If you're the person who can walk away from the deal, you're going to be at an advantage of expert negotiators all the time, just because you can simply say, nah, no thanks, not interested. And when you're in that position, you're in a much more powerful spot. And so that's today's practical philosophy from Epictetus. I hope it helps you guys out. Is this a principle that could literally save you millions of dollars or make you millions of dollars? Yes, it is. You're welcome. I hope you enjoy it. Let's go to Wizard Readings. And speaking of making you millions of dollars, if you'd like to support the stream where we teach you facts that might be able to save or make you millions of dollars, you can go to paypal.me/askawizard. Pay whatever you think a reading is worth and get a 3-card reading for that price. You can also send letters and support and items and objects and knives, Gerber knives, very much. Thank you very much. I appreciated that. The custom knife that you guys sent in was amazing. You can send it at P.O. Box 8881, Missoula, Montana 59807. We read those live on air if you want us to. And if you don't, just right at the top, don't read on air, and we won't. And with that, let's see. Do we got anybody looking for live Wizard readings here today? Thank you for the greetings. No problem at all, Shadow Owl. All right, so that's everybody, I think. If there's any Q&A or any questions, or if you want a reading, feel free to drop into into the chat. Drop it into the chat, and we will get you a reading. And if not, we'll close up the stream for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for the support. Thank you for bringing your friends. And remember, this thing is not grown through any of these social media platforms. We can't grow it through social media. TikTok has shut down my organic reach. YouTube does not even promote. You can't find us in search. You literally have to type in my full name followed by Ask a Wizard to even find me on search in YouTube. They're hiding our channel. Facebook shuts down our streams when we try to go live. It's no way for us to reach out. And I want you to know this, not because I'm complaining. I am okay with that. That's what they have chosen to do with this product. I don't want their help. I want your guys' help. I want to grow a community, a small community of 1,000 people, and I want us to support each other, and I want us to build, grow, and create amazing things together. That's what we're trying to build here. I want a group of well-read, intelligent people who want to work together to build and grow and create amazing things. And so that's what this place is all about. And every time you invite your friends, make sure you're bringing in the right kind of person. Don't just bring anybody in here. The eyeballs are great. I appreciate them, but they really aren't what we're after. We don't want eyeballs. We want great people and people that you trust and think are awesome. That's what this is really about. I'd much rather have one friend that you trust than 10 people you don't know. And I know people are like, that's not, you're just saying that. No, that's literally how we feel. That's what I'm trying to build. And I get it. It sounds weird. You're on the internet, though. I can't afford the server cost. I'd love to afford the server cost in the future. I've looked into the solutions for it. It's pretty expensive, but I would like to make that a solution in the future. But that being said, this is what we got now when we're starting out, and your guys' financial support is very much appreciated. And we're going to be building programs to help reward you financially as well for growing this, because you should. You should be rewarded for helping us make this place great. Financially, as well as, obviously the community itself is the most valuable thing that we're building here. And let's see here. What was that?
Shadow Owl wants owl friend.
Wants owl what?
Owl friend?
You want me to do what with him?
She's wondering where owl friend is.
This guy? Yeah, he's right here. What's up? Or are you talking about the baby owl? Or are you talking about that owl? Maybe this owl. Or are you talking about the candle owl over here? Or are you talking about a secondary soppy owl? Are you talking about that? I have a lot of owls. This one's made out of beeswax, actually. Pretty cool. Maybe you're talking about the stamp seal owl right there. Perhaps that's what you're talking about. We have a plethora of owls. I'm a little bit committed to the owls.
Jennifer has a question about her reading, and then Shy Seagoat wants a reading.
Awesome. All right, let's do that. Carmen says, oh, all right, KK, LOL. Already got a reading. All right, Jennifer, so what is your question? And yes, I can get you a reading. Shy Sea Goat. That's a cool name. I like that. Imagine, what is a sea goat? They have the sea cow as the manatee, but what would be a sea goat? A hippo? No. A sea goat would be like, not an otter. That's more like a sea dog.
Beaver?
Maybe a beaver. Maybe a beaver. I don't know. Yeah, I know that the one I always told you to pet. Oh, gotcha. Would love a reading if possible. Yes, indeed. We'll get you a reading, Shy Sea Goat. Jennifer, what was your question? Let us know in the chat, and we'll get that question answered, and I will get Shy Goat's reading going. So if it's the one I always pet, it's definitely the gold one, or the bronze one. What am I saying? Gold. I wanted to know if you don't take action with this person by reaching out first, could I still expect communication from him and anytime soon? So if in regards to taking action on your emotions, so what this is saying is, if the situation you're in is something that has no long-term consequences, so like a lot of times we find ourselves in situations where we'll spend hours debating over something that really doesn't matter. Like, what am I going to have for dinner? Or, which movie should I watch tonight? Or things that just, frankly, you're not even going to remember. Your brain won't even load it as a memory. Like, what did you eat 6 weeks from today at dinner? You don't know. It's not that important at all. And so with those kinds of decisions, it's good to trust your instincts because you just save a lot of time. You just go with the flow there. That being said, if what you're talking about is something that's going to have more long-term consequences, something that could really affect you 6 months down the line, for example, those are the kinds of questions you want to get input and advice from people who love you and want the best for you and can be a third party who are not just going to tell you what you want to hear, but are going to be honest with you. And they're going to literally say, they're the friend who will say, look, I know you're head over heels for the guy. He's a creep. He's doing some weird stuff. He hit on me while we were on our date together. Come on. Like, you need the friend who is going to be able to tell you what you don't want to hear because they want the best for you. That's who I would seek out if you're dealing with something that's more long-term. However, if it's something more short-term that's really not that big a deal, then follow your instincts and take action on it. So that would be my recommendation there. I hope that gives you a little bit more insights and helps you out. All right, let's go with Shy Sea Goat. Oh, hey, look at that. So what we got here is the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands right here is about taking action on your principles. So what this is saying is you're at a place in your life right now where you have strong principles and the world is really trying to get you to change. The world is trying to tell you you're bad for having these principles, you're lame for having these principles, you're a square, and they're trying to insult and trick and manipulate you into compromising on your principles, changing your direction in life. And what this card is saying is you got to stick to what you know is right. You got to stick to your faith. You got to stick to your principles, the things that you know are true. It's not cool to corrupt yourself and to do what they think is cool. You know what is the right thing, and by sticking to your principles and taking action on those, you're going to get through this. It's not going to be fun. It's going to be hard, but by doing that, you're going to look back on yourself in this and be like, I am the guy who stuck to what I believed in, and I did the right thing. And that's something that these people who just do what they need to do to get by never get to have the experience of. If you're the kind of person who compromises your principles just to get by, you're going to look back on yourself with shame, not with glory and respect. And that's not the way to live your life. So my recommendation here would be stick to your principles, do what you know is right, do what you know is good, and take action on those things despite the social pressure. That would be my recommendation for you, Shy Sea Goat. I hope that helps you out and gives you some insights.
Shadow Owl is leaving.
See you later, Shadow Owl, disappearing like a shadow into the night. Let's see here. Okay, thank you. That helped from Jennifer. Glad to hear that was helpful. SI88 is looking for a reading. All right, we'll get you a reading next. Gotta go. I'll see you tomorrow. See you later, Carmen. All right, let's get... my apologies, Shadow Owl. And let's get SI88. Is that the name of a gun? What is that? Or is that the name of a printer? SI88. I'm not.
Is it SI or SL?
Is it SL or SI? I'm not sure. Either one. It sounds like the name of either a printer or a gun. I'm not sure which one. All right. Let's get this going. And I hope that helped you out and gave you some insights. SL. It's SL.
SL.
So what is that?
What is it, SL?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
All right. Let's go here. Boom. Ooh, one of my favorites. This is an interesting one. All right, SL88. What we got here is the Hierophant. It's not the Hierophant. It's the Hanged Man. I don't know why I said Hierophant. So the Hanged Man card is a really interesting card. So what the Hanged Man represents is it's a major arcana. So this is a broader principle. So it's not so much about a specific thing that's going on. This is more about a call to action of something that you should try. And I think you're going to get a lot of positive results if you try this. So the Hangman is about inverting everything. And it's a thought process. And there's actually a funny TV show about this called Seinfeld did an episode on this where George Costanza, is that his name? George Costanza is the guy who always has bad luck and everything doesn't go his way. So he actually applies this principle during the show and does the opposite of everything he thinks is the right thing, and then his life becomes amazing. Now, that's not what usually happens when you do the Hangman experiment, but what the Hangman experiment represents is asking yourself, with every single action that you take, ask yourself, what would it look like if I did the exact opposite of this? What would that be like? And by doing that for a full 24 hours, you're going to reveal not a lot, but you will find some things that are very enlightening to you. So, for example, maybe it's that I watch Netflix 4 hours before I go to bed. Well, what would the opposite of that be? Not watching any Netflix at all, right? Well, that might be a really good idea. Maybe we don't need to do 4 hours of Netflix. Maybe we could put in 1 hour into something that we believe in. And so that's what the Hangman really represents here, is going through this process of just asking yourself, and it doesn't mean you actually have to do the opposite either. It's just thinking it through. It's like, what would be the opposite? Maybe you eat a cheeseburger for lunch every day. What would be the opposite of that? I don't know, maybe like a really healthy salad. So you try a healthy salad, and hey, maybe that made you feel better and had more energy after lunch, and so you didn't feel so sick, that kind of thing. And by doing this process, you can gain a lot of really valuable insights. And it's a good audit to do because it reveals not even the fact that the opposite is usually the right thing, but maybe somewhere in the middle. And that's what's really beneficial about this philosophical technique. So that is the recommendation I have there for you. I hope that helps you out. SL88. I hope that gives you some insights. And let me know in the comments below if that helped you out. And do we have anyone else looking for a reading?
No.
No? All right. Awesome. Then we're going to go ahead and close up the stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for all of the support. We are getting the Wizard Academy built out. We are getting the private Discord. It is a beta version. If you want a link, DM me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, anywhere like that. I'll send you the link to it. It is in beta. We don't have anything set up there. It's literally just a place to store. I don't know how to build one. I'm learning how to do it myself. But if you're interested in that, we want to try and build an alternative to social media. The goal is once we have 1,000 owls, we would close off that group, and that would just be our new social network where owls can network with owls on the Discord and share things, share updates, what's going on in their life, what's going on with their families, what's their business like, all that good stuff. All the things that social media is supposed to be without any of the just nonsense and crap that they're putting down people's throats right now. And then the Wizard Academy is going to be the access to all of these great pieces of literature that are in the public domain. That is frankly going to just be mind-boggling. For me alone, to just have access to every single one of them in my pocket is just going to be so awesome. And of course, I'm on Clubhouse now as of 2 days ago. So if you're on Clubhouse, go ahead and give me a follow there. And I do live wizard readings there in the morning. And yeah, we'll be back here, same place, same time, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific Coast time. Anything to plug for OPVs?
No, but you have some chats.
Oh, okay. Let's take a look here. Shy Sea Goat says, my name is in reference to my star sign. Oh, nice. And yes, I'm trying to be a tattoo artist, and that's the only thing I'm aiming for. And I understand what I'm getting into and the sacrifices I'll have to make. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. That's being an entrepreneur is a really intense endeavor. What I would recommend doing, and this sucks, but the only reason I feel comfortable making it is I've done it myself. So I'm not Gary V'ing you here. Well, I guess Gary V did it himself too. So, but I'm not going in and being like, you need to just man up and work hard. I'm not doing that. It's what I've done myself. And I recommend if you're starting a business, work a full-time or part-time job, depending on your needs, to pay your bills, to have food, and to be able to set aside ideally you want $500 a month set aside. You can get away with less. It's okay if you have less, but having $500 a month to put into your business venture is really helpful, and to not have to worry about your food, to not worry about your bills, and to just be able to practice, test, and fail with your business, to be able to give free things away from your business and not have to worry about, man, am I going to make ends meet on rent? When you're in that situation, it's a lot better. It's harder because you basically are saying, look, I have to go work 40 hours a week, and then I got to go work weekends on my business. But it's such a stronger way to really grow something organically and to take your time with it and to not feel pressured or rushed. And it's going to make you make a lot of better decisions. So I would recommend trying that out. Some really great ones are like flexible jobs, maybe Uber Eats, DoorDash, things like that. You can make money on the side, and you can turn it on and off whenever you're free. And so that's another good way. You don't make very much though, so be careful with that as well. Got to do your math well if you want to make a profit on those things. But for me, what I did is digital marketing. So I'm very good at ad copy and persuasion and rhetoric because I'm a wizard. That's one of the things that we study. And so basically I make essentially real life money spells for people. I write down words on a piece of paper, and it makes people more money than they would have if they just put up their website. And so that's a specialized skill that I have. And so people hire me to do that, and that's what I do. Alyssa says, there is something called Mighty Networks that may work. I'm not sure what that is. Can you tell a ghost story real quick? Ooh, can you tell a real ghost story? Uh-oh, getting more caveats. I used to I work in a auto body shop to cover everything right now, and working on the things at night. Yeah, that's the play, I think, is... because then you can start taking customers on the side. You get a little extra cash coming in. Then you're able to promote the business more. You're able to run Facebook ads. You're able to go and do a little networking events. And it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier. A ghost story. What would be, I guess, a true, real ghost story? I have a few ghost stories. I don't know if I feel comfortable telling them because people will think I'm a crazy person, though. Okay, I can say my experience. Fine. I have one experience with a ghost that I cannot explain. When I was a child, not even a child. I'd say, like 10 years old, probably. That's a child. I was at my parents' church, and we were closing up the church, and as we were closing up the church, I felt an electrical shock on my shoulder, and I fell to the ground from it. And I got up and turned around, and at the end of the hallway was standing basically what looked like a demon, kind of almost like Darth Maul, almost just a black shadow with a hood. And it twirled up into a perfect little spiral and just disappeared. Almost like that guy from Naruto, who goes... and just, yeah, Obito, who just... himself. It was almost like that, but he just like twisted up and vanished. And then from that point forward, I started having nightmares of him. And then I started seeing him in my house. And he would come in and shake my bed violently at night. He would take my dresser, tip it over on its side, shake it so that it was like, this is when it should fall, shake it, and then tilt it back up. Very scary stuff. And I would go and run into my parents' house and tell them. And at one point, I woke up in the middle of the night, saw it moving across the side of my room. I thought it was a burglar because it was a black shadow moving across my door. So I ran up and punched it, and then my hand went through it and ended up hitting the wall. And ended up denting the wall. And so that was hard to explain to my parents. So that went on for quite a while until my parents started being like, look, you need to stop with this nonsense. We know you're lying. We know it's not real. You need to stop making it up. I'm like, I'm not making it up. It's happening. It's freaking me out, man. And then my mom said, if there was a spirit in this house, it would prove it to me. I would have seen it myself. And then as she said that, a statue got picked up and smashed against the wall in front of her. My dad was there, my grandmother was there, and my mom was there, and we all saw a statue literally just get picked up and smashed against a wall. And then at that point, they believed me. I think they went through and like prayed for the house with a Bible or something. I don't really know what they did. And then it went away and it was gone. And so that was my ghost story that I experienced as a child. People will probably think I'm a crazy person for that now and hold it against me for the rest of my life. But you know what? I don't care. All right. So that is my ghost experience that I have as a child. And I can't deduce a logical explanation for it because there's multiple eyewitnesses. And it's just, I could have been a crazy person, but schizophrenia is not very common in children, and I've actually been to psychiatrists before. I had a really cool experience in junior high because they had a psychologist on campus who was a teacher. She was training me to be a psychiatrist, and she basically had to test all these different kinds of tests that she learned. And so she had picked me as her basically her dummy, if you will, her test subject. And so I took like hundreds of these different psychology tests with her, and one of them was actually to check for like schizophrenia and whatnot, and I am not. So I'm actually not that, and which actually was a bit of a disappointment. I told her that I was sad because I wanted it to be true so that I could have an excuse for what I had experienced and have a pill to make it go away. But unfortunately, not the case. Not the case. Giovanni says, I believe you. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Is death really just a void of darkness for eternity? No, not at all. It's actually scarier. The afterlife is there's heaven and there's hell. And if you choose to worship and follow truth, you can ascend into heaven. And if you choose to not worship truth and to hate truth, then you will descend into hell. And that happens in the afterlife, but it also happens on earth. There are people who live in hell, and it's because they reject truth. And you can see this by you go walk down the street of any major city, and you will see people walking around in the pits of hell. And you can go to places that you would think are poor, cheap. Oh, they got nothing. You can go out into the sticks of West Virginia, and you will find people that are happy, beautiful, good, and true, and living a heavenly life. And it's not about your income. It's not about your race. It's not about your gender. It's not about your ethnicity. It's about, do you worship truth or do you accept the lies? And that's really the dichotomy. And so that would be my recommendation for that. My family thinks I'm crazy. What do we do with a haunted house? I have a ghost. Well, as I've learned as I become a Christian is, the thing is ghosts are actually incredibly weak, and demons are incredibly weak compared to you. You're made in the image of God. You're literally going to lead angels in heaven. You're above the angels. You have immense power. It's not even a challenge comparing you as a human. The sheer fact that you're made, as C.S. Lewis called it, a daughter of Eve and a son of Adam. You are a royal elite of elite, and you are part of the kingdom of God. That makes you an incredibly powerful person if you choose to align yourself with Christ. When you're in alignment with that, the spirits are able to be casted out with very little effort. You can literally just be like, hi, my name is Tyler. I am a servant of Jesus Christ, and you are not welcome here. And they just book it. They usually don't even want to stick around for negotiations. Sometimes they will and try to be like, oh, really, Ball? Here's some sins that you've committed, and this is, would you really want to lose out on these things that I provide you? And you're like, yeah, I'm good with losing out on whatever you have to provide for me. Get out. And they will. They have no power over you there. So turn to Christ. It's that would be my answer. I thought we came from our spiritual kingdom. Is heaven full of different spiritual kingdoms? I don't think Jesus does not tell you very much about what the kingdom of God will be like. He's very vague on the matter, actually. In fact, I think the only thing Jesus ever really says about what heaven will be like is that if it was a pearl, you would sell everything you owned in the world for it. And that's the only thing he really says. He's like, I can't describe it to you. It's almost like our brains as mortal humans can't even imagine what it's like. And so he's just like, it's just like, if it was this pearl, everything you'd sell everything you had just so you could have the pearl. So it's like, it's almost like you can't process the data, which I guess would make sense. You probably can't process the data if you're stuck in the third dimension. Thank you so much. No problem at all. I have a ghost in my house right now. Yeah. I don't be familiar with them is another good one. Don't communicate with them. I know from what I do here, a lot of times we will have encounters with spirits because they mistake what I'm doing for witchcraft, because the only other people that use these kinds of things do them for witchcraft. And so they think that I want to like negotiate with them. And so there's been times where I'm like, nope, not interested. I have no interest in you at all. This is a mnemonic system for me. I go to Jesus Christ, get out. And so I've had experiences with that myself as well. And so I'm familiar with this situation, and I'm realizing I'm progressively sounding more and more crazy as well. So my apologies. Remember, guys, I'm an actor, of course. You know, I'm an actor. This is never should be taken seriously at all. And if you clip this up and say this is what Tyler believes, just remember I'm an actor, and it's all an act. Okay, I'm a magician. Oh, okay. But we all can be gods in our own ways. No, absolutely not. You cannot. Well, you can try and be your own god, and you'll be a very weak and pathetic god, because no human being is even a fraction of as powerful as the Alpha and the Omega. So if you worship yourself, that's the act of Satanism, is to worship yourself. And to choose to worship something other than the truth, the Logos, the light, the truth, and the way. That's the distinction between witchcraft and wizardry, actually. A wizard worships Logos, truth, Jesus Christ, what is true, knowledge. And we're servants of it. We obey the truth. And we do not try to bend truth to what we want it to be. We follow what truth says to do and do as truth is. Witchcraft tries to bend truth to its will, and that's why it always fails and backfires and destroys their lives. You don't have positive outcomes in the long run trying to bend truth. It always snaps back, and let me tell you, the snapback it can be intense. If you want to see some examples of that, highly recommend checking out the Bible. There's some really good stories on people who try to make the world be what they want rather than what is true. It doesn't end well for them. Let's put it that way. No, Jesus is not an ascendant master. He is God. He's the embodiment of the Logos. Thank you so much. No problem at all. And so thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm glad that we got these fun discussion here at the end, and hope we could give you guys some insights. And also, if you're interested in checking out more about the topic there, SL88, highly recommend checking out the Summa Theologica by Thomas Aquinas. He's one of the smartest men who ever lived, and people actually say that he was smarter than Aristotle. I disagree. I think Aristotle is actually a bit smarter, but nonetheless, to be compared to Aristotle is a massive compliment in of itself. And the dude literally goes through and systematically approaches the topic of divinity, God, and Christ. In fact, all of the arguments that you hear against Christianity were invented by Thomas Aquinas, and then disproven by him. So when you hear people present an argument against God, Thomas Aquinas actually invented the argument and disproved the argument like a couple thousand years ago. So I highly recommend checking that out. It's a lot of books. The Summa Theologica is like this long of books. So I'd pick up like one or get an online edition. It's pretty expensive. I think it's like $1,000 for the books. Yes, I have them. Leave me alone. No OPVs. It wasn't a mistake. But you can get an online version for free, and you can. I mean, that'll keep you busy for a good couple of years. To be frank, it's really good. But we can. Well, I'm spiritual. Thank you. No problem at all. I'm glad I was able to help you guys. Is there anyone else looking for a reading, or is that everyone?
That's everyone so far.
All right. Awesome.
Someone wants to slip in if they want.
Okay, OPVs has opened the floor for you guys to, and I quote, slip in at the last minute. So let's see, is there anyone who's trying to, quote unquote, slip in at the last minute? Let's find out. Okay, we got the delay here. This is a good stream. This is a fun one.
So good.
You guys are awesome and amazing. Thank you so much. Gosh, Clubhouse's notifications need to stop though. I get like 5 notifications every 10 minutes. It's just Clubhouse. Someone's following you. Someone likes you. Oh, you should join this club. You should join this club. It's just like, settle down.
Giovanni.
Giovanni says, I will like a reading. All right, Giovanni's slipping in at the last minute. All right, let's go. All right, what do we got here? Ooh, the Page of Wands. Okay. Haven't seen this one in a while. So the Page of Wands is about inexperience with the spiritual. So this card right here is a very interesting card indeed. So this is about when you first start a new spiritual journey or a big life change, principled foundation for maybe you decide you're going to follow the Stoic philosophy. That could be an example of how you could apply this in your life. You enter a phase, or for example, your first time becoming a Christian. You enter a phase of what is called the page. The page is about that beginner's start. And during this phase, you tend to have experiences of what's called beginner's luck, but also you run into an experience where not only do you have beginner's luck, but you also make some really obvious big mistakes. And if you take this the wrong way, it can really derail you. And like a common example I've found is like new Christians, they'll come in and then they will find out they believed one thing about Christianity because they heard it somewhere. And then one of the people in the church, usually in a very rude and direct way, says, no, that's wrong. In fact, that's a sin. How dare you? And then you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And it can really rock their faith. They can be like, well, if that's wrong, and I thought it was true, how do I know anything else is right? And then they start spiraling and freaking out. And so it's important to note that that's part of learning. That's part of spiritual progress. You know, if you go up, a good example, I have a friend who called Carl Jung, and he had called it Carl Jung his whole time. And then he heard me calling it Carl Jung. And at the end of the stream, he was like, I'm so embarrassed. I've been calling him Carl Jung for like 5 years. Is his name really Carl Jung? And I think it's pronounced it. And I told him, you know, it doesn't matter. It's okay. If anything, it makes me happy that you've mispronounced it because it means you've read his books. You read Jung because you looked at his books and you read it and you've never heard it said out loud, which is the way you're supposed to be studying. And I think that if people in spiritual practices approached it a little bit more like that, it probably wouldn't have this problem as often. But that being said, you can't beat yourself up about it. That's part of the learning process. Don't let it derail you, and enjoy the beginner's luck as well. When you're getting those overwhelming, valuable things, that's not going to last. You know, it's going to fade away, and then you'll enter into the growth phase. But enjoy it while it lasts, and that's always a fun time as well. So that would be my recommendation there. I hope it helps you out and gives you some insights. Is it fine if I worship spirituality? No, you don't want to worship spirituality. No, definitely not. You want to worship the truth. So logos. So what is true? Spirituality, that could be anything. You could worship a turtle god. You could go worship a rock. You could worship some water. You don't want to worship something that's weak. You want to worship something that's eternal and the beginning and the end, the ultimate. So when you worship truth, you're in a sense worshiping all of those other things, but you're doing it at the supreme level, because the fact that they exist is because of truth. The reason that rain exists is because of truth. The reason that rocks exist is because of truth. The reason the stars are in the sky and they line up perfectly with farming techniques, and you know exactly when to plant your food and when the rains are going to come and when the seasons are going to come. The reason you know all of that is because of truth. There is truth in the world, and it's all been planned through truth. The author, the logos, the light, the truth, the way. And when you write truth into the existence, you don't want to go and say, it would be like imagine if Leonardo da Vinci, he drew the Mona Lisa, right? And you're just like, the Mona Lisa is the most amazing and perfect thing. I worship the Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa is great. And Leonardo da Vinci's like, I mean, yeah, thank you. It's a great painting, but I made it. No, the Mona Lisa is here and eternal and glorious. I worship the Mona Lisa. I mean, are you going to pay me? I made the painting. I did it. No, just the Mona Lisa. I'm not interested in who you are or anything about you. You're like, what the heck, man? And so that's kind of what why God gets really angry about people worshiping other gods, is you're basically doing that to him when you go and worship something else. But how do we know truth? So how we know truth, that's the Nietzschean question. So if you read Beyond Good and Evil, Nietzsche worked through that problem. This is one of the reasons I hate Nietzsche, actually. Nietzsche arrived at the inevitable crossroad that every person arrives at, which is any philosophical thinker, I should say, is you can't truly know anything without accepting something on faith. The difference between Christianity and say scientism is that Christians say we have faith and we do accept, we on faith believe there is truth. So that's the acceptance that you have to make as a Christian, is I accept on faith that truth exists and I will seek it out in the world. Scientists make the same exception. They say, I accept that there's truth in the world, and then they lie and say it's not faith. They say it's true, but it's not true. It's accepted on faith. So all things boil down to accepting on faith. At the end of the day, you have to accept anything that you do on faith, because we can never truly be certain of anything because our brains aren't capable of deducing it. And so that's how do you know there's truth? You don't. You know that you accept that there is truth on faith, and then you pursue it and try to find it. And in the wizard model, what I propose is how do you know if what you're following is true? And that's what is predictive. So if I go and accept that the truth exists on faith, and then I live my life as if truth exists, does that end up predicting for me? So can I make predictions based on that belief, and do they come true? So for example, this deck of cards I can leave here on this table, and I can come back and I know that it will still be here. I can predict that it will still be here because from what I know of truth, the world does not just load a new simulation outside of my perception that I can't perceive. And I can predict my deck of cards will still be here, and I can open the door and walk in and find that my deck of cards is still here. Now, could this be loading whenever I open the door? Yes, that's totally possible. But does that predict for me? Not really. It doesn't really have any implications, no value there. And so you start predictive things, and there's nothing more predictive than the Bible. If you read the Bible, the thing is just insanity. Like, every aspect of all of human nature, every story, every narrative is all contained in there. Like, you see Cain and Abel all throughout your life. This is happening all the time. the Cain and Abel story. How many people have you seen in your life on the big scale and the small scale where, oh, the older brother, he got better attention than me. I hate that guy. He's a jerk. That betrayal. That's Cain and Abel's story. You see it in business all the time. Pepsi and Coke. Cain and Abel. Everyone picks Coke. Coke's the better company. They're the worst. We're better than Coke. We've always been better. It's the same psychology, and it's embedded in these stories of just profound meaning, and highly predictive too. You know what's going to happen because of these narratives, and so I highly recommend checking it out and see if it predicts for you. Or as I always recommend to people, whether you have faith or not, try it. Just if you don't believe in God, there's no harm in trying. See what happens if you go down, get on your knees and say, hey, God, who I'm not sure if I believe in you or not. I don't know if you exist. But could you tell me something that I could do that would improve my life, and that I have the ability to change, and that I have the energy to change, and that I would actually change? Could you give me some ideas? And if you just sit back for 5 minutes, something will answer you in your head. And it will give you a very important and valuable answer. And it's usually very helpful. And why does that work? I don't know. We don't know. We have no clue. But, Christians call it faith. Christians call it God. We don't know. We accept it on faith. And, that's part of what makes it a religion. How do we know if the Bible is man-made? The Bible is 100% man-made. Yeah, the men wrote the Bible. It's biblically inspired. There's a bunch of fake Bible prophecies that are planned by the reptilians, so we bend to their will with no questions asked. I doubt that, but what there is objectively a fact of is Satan 100%, and the Bible actually says that. In fact, this is one where I'm a big fan of God doing this. God actually says he hates false prophets. He literally uses the word hate. And in fact, he makes a caveat here for what is called the wicked. And he says it is actually called for Christians to kill and defeat the wicked, which is different from people who are sinners. And that's a very controversial thing in Christian faith today, because then they have to accept the fact that they actually have to take responsibility and protect themselves from the wicked. But false prophets are on the top tier list of things God just absolutely hates. And he says, be very, very careful of false prophets. And those do exist, and they are scary. You got to be very careful. If someone's going, I am speaking on behalf of God right now, you pull out the notepad, you start writing down every word, and you start figuring out why that thing's not true. And that's the correct approach. Whether they're real or not, that's what you're supposed to do. And again, this is in the Bible. Maybe we don't have the legal ways of doing this today, but the Bible would say if a prophet spoke falsely and you were able to prove that they were false, you would kill them on the spot. They don't get to live anymore, because you can't have that kind of stuff moving around. So he takes that stuff very seriously, and it is very dangerous, and a lot of people are led astray by them. That's all right. SL88, any person who goes down the path of philosophy ends up usually worshiping truth. And, you don't have to be there. And that's okay. But I think that if you pursue truth, you will inevitably end up there. And just enjoy the ride. It's okay. I am not God, and I don't speak for God. That's God's job. And God is very good at those things. So I'll leave it to him. But with that, I think we should close up the stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully, Brett, if you are here, you are not mad that we've stayed up so late doing this. I know you want to play League. And I know Peavies is probably not going to stay up, but we'll figure it out. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for the biggest stream ever. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome, and we'll roll out the outro. And thank you so much, SL88, for the great questions. I really appreciate them. Thank you so much. Seeing thoughtful and insightful questions and answers, I deeply appreciate those. And this is one of the reasons we ban so many people, is so that we can have great conversations like this with really thoughtful, intelligent people that are reading and learning. That's what this is all about. Thank you so much. Giovanni says, thank you. No problem at all, Giovanni. All right. And I will see you guys all later. Peace. Good night.